The NBA zigzag theory. In short, what it says is bet against the team that won the previous game straight up, or I guess more accurately, bet on the team that lost the previous game. So we're talking about in series games 2 through 7, whoever lost the previous game, bet on them. And for a while, it was pretty good, but it has really more than regressed to the mean. 668, 646, and 17 all-time in the history of our database. A very modest 50.8%, and in fact, since 2014, just 46.8%, and even more recently, just 116, 141, and 2 since 2016. So it is clearly dead. But even all along, when it was a pretty good system, essentially we have various bounce-back systems. For example, when a team lost the previous game by 23 or more, again, we're talking about same series, games 2 through 7 essentially, they do bounce back at a pretty decent 52.5% rate, but under specific circumstances that do apply as well, does a lot better than that. So still, the better-looking stepsister, I guess, of the zigzag continues to do well, bounce back. But here's the key here. Favorites in the NBA playoffs are a very surprising 768, 652, and 18 for 54.1%. Now, why are favorites good postseason bets? It's the only time that the public really bets dogs in any sport as if they're good teams, so that, of course, especially applies in the postseason. The odds makers are more than aware of this, and this is the one time, of course, that favorites are going to be pretty good value. But it's also simple math. There's 240 total minutes played in a regulation NBA game by the players, cumulatively. What I mean by that, of course, you got 5 starters times 48 minutes. Now, it's kind of my Adrian Barbeau theory, where NBA is the most top-heavy sport. If, for example, 2 superstars play 40 minutes each, they've played 33.3% of the team's total minutes. So NBA or superstars can really dominate NBA more than any other sport. And because no other sport can match that ratio. Obviously, in Major League Baseball, you can't have one player. And, of course, that's another debate as far as pitching. But remember, again, the pitcher is only out there when you're trying to stop the other team from scoring runs. You're still going to score runs yourself. So even, you might want to argue a pitcher in baseball, maybe a goalie in hockey, but still, as far as truly being very top-heavy with multiple players, NBA is that sport. And you don't have to deal with stuff like, the quote-unquote load management, etc. So the better team is much more likely to win in the NBA postseason because of those reasons, I think, than any other sport. Now, here's the best part of it. One of our programs, it uses a computer language called SQL, and it's very easy to eliminate subsystems. Let's just say, Boston's playing the LA Lakers, and you have one great system that favors Boston, you have another great system that favors the LA Lakers. Well, we can ask the computer what happens when both of these systems apply. And let's just say, for example, maybe when it applies the system that favors the LA Lakers, when it goes head-to-head, maybe as 101 wins and 70 losses. Well, we can eliminate that subsystem from the system that doesn't do well. So basically, we can eliminate circumstances to make these systems better. It may or may not be confusing to you, certainly if you're familiar with the language. You know what we're talking about, but we can always enhance and strengthen systems. I buy systems, maybe I'll read about systems on other websites, and we will make them stronger and stronger. But, again, it gets back to what I've said all along. Throw out your biases. I am by nature, it's in my DNA, I'm mostly an underdog player, but there are specific situations where favorites do well. The NBA playoffs is one of them. I don't like eating chalk, but I very often do in the NBA playoffs. That's why I continue to win year after year after year. We do more than our share of underdogs during the regular season. Also, quite a few of our top total systems and totals handicapping in the NBA playoffs. That's another course altogether, but a lot of our systems that do win during the regular season also apply during the NBA playoffs. But yes, the NBA, certainly when it comes to picking sides, is a completely different monster than it is during the regular season, and realizing that is one of the biggest keys to winning in the NBA playoffs. And you, Joey Bag of Donuts, it's the one and only time that you actually like to bet the underdog, but if anything, it's the one time that you're betting the favorite will actually pay off for you. Well, please, if you're watching us on Periscope, give us, a heart. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, share, comment, embed, retweet. If you're just listening to the podcast, please rate us. Give us 5 stars, I would hope. And, the more love you give us, the more free information we can give you. And please always visit us at Offshore Inside